So the idea is you want to wall jump check the door. And you just want to unspin and start holding a shot. You want to turn around. When you land, you're going to down grab this, wall jump off the wall, and keep going. You want to keep holding shots, so you unspin here and release shot when you want to. What some people do is they'll wall jump twice, and then if you want to shoot after that and not morph, you have to turn around. It's really weird. I don't like it. What some people do is they land on this platform and like pause for a bit. But the idea is you want to be able to start your first shot, because Ridley will be vulnerable, right? And you want to start your first shot as far away from him as possible, so you can start your first shot as early as possible, which means you can get your second shot off sooner. So the idea here is, once Ridley goes into the air, if you're on the ground, Ridley will go into a pogo every time. Like, that's just... Ridley will go into a pogo every time if you're on the ground after the opening, right? So the idea is, after the first one, Ridley's going to go up, you're going to jump up with them, and you're going to want to jump. Again, prevent Ridley from pogoing, and from here, you figure out what Ridley's going to do, right? So I jump up with Ridley and figure out what he's going to do. This is if you get the nice pattern, because he can still pogo, but this just makes it less likely for him to pogo, right? Then you jump up with Ridley, scope he's going to do. See, there he went into a pogo. You kind of have to learn to recognize if he's going to go into a pogo or a swoop. If he goes into a swoop, what you want to do is you want to crouch jump over him. Good pogo. Then you can diagonal to. Turn around. From here it's like pretty simple. You're just gonna pogo for the rest of the time. You don't have to do these tail rounds, they save some time though. And that's an all pogo fight pretty much, but it's still really freaking fast. Because you did the opening really well. And it sets you up to just get a ton of free shots in. Still a 41. Basically, as long as you do this right, you're getting in at least like 10 free shots. See what Ridley's gonna do, he's gonna pogo. And from here, you know what to do with pogos. He's pogoing weirdly. 1, 2. So in the swoops, he's playing like normal. Things like that. So the opening's like really important. The thing about playing swoops is it's really weird. With plasma, you can kind of get away with playing it however you want, because they don't last very long. So you went into a pogo here, which sucks. You can dodge that. That just wasn't prepared, so I'm trying to speak. But with swoops, you went up high. The first one's big, you can crouch under it in the right spot. But the idea is, see, he's going to try and lunge at me, so I want to shoot up and then jump to the side to cancel his lunge. He's going to start moving faster eventually. The way I'm moving right now, I'm fine. He's dead too, so he's just going to lunge at me continually. I missed my shot. Go under him, cancel the lunge. If he doesn't pogo here, you're in the perfect position for it. See, there I got greedy, trying to squeeze out this shot. What I should have done is just jumped right away. You can tell if he's going to go into like a quick swoop after his pogo, just based on the trajectory he exits his pogo at. This one's going to be, I can come up here, come here, shot. He's moving fast enough where I can still do the greedy stuff. And for the most part in KPDR, you're going to be able to do the greedy under the shot here, because you won't be able to move fast enough because you just kill him too quickly. Because you have plasma, which is really strong. The opening. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Muscle memory pause that you're not supposed to do. Still got 43. So with Ridley dying as well, when Ridley picks you up, there's specific pixels on the, like, horizontally on the screen where Ridley, like, there's specific pixels on the screen where if Ridley hits one of them, this triggers his death. There's certain spots you want to stand on, get picked up on the ground, so that the trajectory of Ridley picking you up pushes him into those immediately and he just dies immediately. These are like insta-death spots. They're like right here and like right here, usually. I like the insta-death spots you want to be. So if he's going for like a grab on you, you want to like stand beneath the grab in one of those insta-death spots, and if he has one shot left, you can just shoot it as he's coming down to grab you and he'll die instantly. And those are the best way to get him to die. There he's gonna do a slow pogo. A slow turnaround, sorry. Choose to do that. He's moving really quick now. So I have to dodge right away because he's moving so fast, right? So Ridley's gonna do 10 grab attempts and try to, and if he misses a grab attempt, right, he goes back to this like spot in the room. It's like right here or like right here, depending on which direction he's facing. And if he misses the grab attempt, he'll go back there. But if you're above Ridley, it resets his pattern, right? So if you're above him long enough, you can get all 10 of these grab attempts in not simultaneously, but nearly instantaneously, and he just dies. This is kind of useful. For instance, if Ridley's pogoing this way, right, and you get your last shot off, but then he comes up here for a swoop, what you can do is you can just like bomb jump up like this or above him, and he'll just die, instead of having to wait for him to like come up here for his swoop and then come in and all this shit. So it saves a bit of time. The other way to kill Ridley quickly is a claw jump, which is really important because it can waste a lot of time if you don't. He's gonna release that shot. He's gonna go into a pogo here, which is fine. Pogo. Oops. That's some greed right there. So on his first swoop, you can aim down and shoot because he swoops high. If he doesn't swoop high, your aim down shots are usually going to miss. Okay, so the claw jump, he's dead now. So you see how when I jump up, it cancels Ridley's pattern, right? And cancels his pogo. Right? But you want to jump up with his tail. So his tail hits the ground, and you jump up with his tail to about the height of like right here. Like right here, like about the top of the door, right? And what you want to do, some people hold an angle button, but you want to then turn around into Ridley's claw. So what you're doing is if he's in a pogo usually and he grabs you while pogoing, right? Even though he's dead, he doesn't die because he's in the pogo state. So what this does, you jump up with the tail, cancel the pogo state, and get a grab. But he dies because now he can die because he's not in the pogo state anymore. This is actually somewhat specific. You want to jump up with his tail and cancel the pogo and immediately get grabbed. This is really good to know, because in this situation, if you didn't know the claw jump, I got an insta-death spot because I know the insta-death spots, but even if you don't know the insta death spots, it's also bad, right? So you have to wait for his pogo to cancel. 55. Whereas here you claw jump, he just dies right away. You save a ton of time. It's not the ideal death, obviously. You want to get the insta death, but it's, you know, you save a couple of seconds by doing that. That's really important to know. If he goes off into a swoop here, that's the bomb jump I showed you. Like, say your last shot is right before he goes off into a swoop, so you can't claw jump. You just, you know, you want to be above him. And I reset all 10 grab attempts he's supposed to do before dying immediately. It's a little tricky to get consistent at that, but it definitely will save you time. Instead of having to like wait for the entire swoop cycle. Because here he's going to swoop, he's not going to... Oh, he might go for a grab. Sometimes he'll go for a swoop. He does that. So claw jump's a super important way of killing him as well. The thing about the plasma beam fight is there's a lot of little intricacies you can kind of get away with not knowing because he just dies so quickly that you like never get him moving at speeds where it matters. Yeah, it's a claw jump. I think I could probably show off some of the intricacies if I do this properly. So, APDR equipment. Funky background. Opening. That's like 13 free shots right there. If you, like, you get that requires luck, but if you get the luck, recognize it. That's 13 free shots. Like, and he's in a swoop pattern now. Like, the fight's just so fast. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna try to show off some intricacies of the fight. That was a little greedy. I got away with it though. You know, stand alone like that, cancel it. This usually works. But if you cancel it early enough and you have enough time, you can do something like that. Or if you can... There he does a high swoop, not much I can do about that. But you see, he's moving too fast for me to get really greedy. But I can do stuff like this if I have to cancel it early. Or I suppose late in this instance, because he's moving so fast. If I cancel, he's down here, shoot. I can do another shot. Huge pogos. Come here, shoot. Here, shoot. Shot. Shot. You have to cancel this right away. Because he's now at this point he's starting to move too quickly for me to like, you know, do the greedy undershot. Yeah, if I do that he just comes. But if you cancel this dodge late into the dot, or his lunge late into the lunge, you can get an extra shot off by doing something like this, and then when he swoops again, you do a horizontal shot. But it can be kind of risky to try and squeeze that extra shot in. Comes in, this, behind him, and then you have to dodge. So you like, in the KPDR fight, he usually is like doesn't get to be moving this fast because you kill him in a swoop cycle or a pogo cycle where he's moving more slowly. Let's see, I can't do that greedy undershot now. And you kind of have to react more because he's moving so quickly. But you can do the undershot, like, depending on the cycle of your charge beam pattern, obviously. But in most cases, what ends up happening is you just can't. See, I'll do this. Can't. So you have to do this. So it really just depends on how quickly Ridley is moving for at what point you have to start like canceling his grab attempts and stuff, and how you can squeeze extra shots out of that based on your charge beam cycle. And if you can do that greedy undershot as well if your charge beam cycle lines up where you have enough time to do it. So it's a lot of gauging Ridley's movement as it pertains to your charge beam cycles and things like that. That makes this fight incredibly challenging to try and do as quickly as possible. but it's a lot of challenges you don't face with the plasma beam because you just kill him so quickly. You don't end up in a lot of these like weird scenarios where the cycles start to, where his swooping speed and lunging speed starts to get too fast for your charge shot cycles, because that starts to happen at around like, you know, probably like under 3,000-ish. I don't know exactly, but like he starts to move quicker the less health he has. But the thing is with plasma beam, you really don't reach that threshold because he's 2 or 3 charge shots away at that point, and usually he's in the middle of a pattern that is slower. And you're able to get those 2 or 3 charge shots off before his pattern speeds up. So it's like, it's things like that that you can get away with in Crave first that make players realize that they're not as good at Ridley as they think when they start fighting Ridley with less items, like in PRKD, because Ridley will start to do things and you have to change how you fight him quite a bit, because you can't get away with just flow charting it. You have to definitely be more cerebral in your approach and more not necessarily reactive, but I suppose it is reactive to Ridley's speed, but it's not like reacting to the way Ridley's moving, but you have to react to how fast Ridley's moving and change up your like the way you're doing your charge shots as he starts moving more quickly, because you can't get away with certain things. And the hard part is too, is if you're trying to squeeze as much out of the fight as possible, is you can get really greedy and misjudge it, and that can really, you know, own your fight if you take a body hit, because it's 40 damage. And generally speaking, in PRKD, you don't have a lot of health, which is, you know, why the beam fight itself is so hard, just because it lasts so much longer. And then also the thing about the beam fight in PRKD that's really weird, I don't even know if I'm going to remember how to deal with this because it's been so long, is this is a threshold you never see with X Factors or in KPDR. There's a threshold here, I'm going to do the same opening, whoops. There's a threshold where Ridley will just kind of hover, but you pass that threshold in your opener with X Factors and with Plasma Beam. We didn't do it here, but it's like he moves differently with a ton of health, but it's a threshold you never see until you start doing this fight with Phaser. Like right here, he's gonna like hover over above. He's gonna do some weird hovering. See? And like, it's really hard to figure out how to deal with that. It's hard to explain as well. You kind of just have to gauge what Ridley does when he hovers like that. That was a bad morph I was trying to dodge. But yeah, you can do a lot of weird things early on in the fight, so it's definitely a learning process to try and do the beam fight here. Just because it lasts so much longer, there's more weird things you can do. Since you're killing him so much more slowly, there's things that you wouldn't see before that you might see now, and you have to learn to adjust to his speed more. And that sucks when that shit happens. It goes up into a swoop like that, because then you just have to wait it out. And you lose a lot of time. But yeah, that's kind of 20 minutes of Ridley rambling for you, basically. There's a lot to fight to do it as quickly as possible, but if you're doing KPDR, there's a lot you can get away with. And it's really not too bad. You just kind of want to learn how Ridley moves and how to dodge him, and then how when you jump up, you kind of cancel what he's about to do, unless it's a swoop. If it's a swoop, you'll finish the swoop. If it's a pogo, you jump up high, you'll cancel the pogo. If it's a lunge and you jump up, he stops his lunge at your height, basically, because he's set to lunge until he gets to Samus's height. And then you come up here, he lunges to Samus's height, and then goes back up. Then, depending on when you stop it, you can maybe squeeze an extra charge shot out here with a diagonal shot jumping up, and like a horizontal shot here as you jump over him. What most players do though is they'll do, you know, this, and then wait like that, which is fine, but you'll eventually start losing out on potential damage if you just wait here like this, because you're not necessarily maximizing and putting yourself in a position to release your charge shot as soon as possible. Because that's really the hardest part, is putting yourself in a position where if you're releasing your charge shots as soon as you possibly can, they're always going to be hitting Ridley, and you don't have to be waiting. Sometimes you have to wait, but the idea is to try and minimize the time you have to wait, and always put yourself in a position to where your charge shot, if you released it as soon as possible, would hit Ridley.